Hello and welcome to the latest in this series of virtual Tai Chi classes that I do one class a week. Now, I started over the last couple of weeks to look in detail at the moves in turn. I've covered moves 1 and 2. But I did some training last weekend, which has given me an increased depth of knowledge and understanding of what is really going on. And with that in mind, I want to go right back to the beginning, and I want to look at the very start of the set, which is where I just get you to stand and breathe. If you can't stand, and I know that some people who watch these videos cannot stand for various reasons, just try to adapt what I'm saying to suit your personal situation. Remember, it's not about doing things perfectly, it's about doing things perfectly for you, and we're all different. So with that in mind, I would like to invite you to get yourself into the place where you intend to do the moves, and I will talk you in detail through the initial standing part before you actually get into the moves. We'll then go through the moves, and then as usual I will do a short mindfulness meditation. As usual, the meditation will begin and end with the sound of the singing bowl. So let's get ready to actually do the moves. So at the beginning of the set, I always talk about getting yourself into a good bear stance, getting yourself standing in a good posture. I want to explain a little bit more about what I mean by a good posture. This is feet a hip width apart. Feet parallel and pointing directly forwards. It's quite easy to end with one foot pointing slightly at an angle from the other. Now, ideally, your hips, knees and toes need to be all in line. You need to have your back nice and straight, your neck nice and straight, your chin parallel with the floor, and for most people that means you actually need to tuck your chin down slightly. Now I want you to think about your feet. I want you to think about where your weight is over your feet. You want your weight to be evenly spread through the whole of your feet and evenly spread from side to side. So just take a moment, send your attention down to your feet, and just check where your weight is. It's easy to tell if your weight's all on your heels or more on your toes. Just make sure that your weight is evenly distributed back to front and side to side. So both feet should have even weight, and the weight should be evenly distributed across the balls of your feet and onto your heels. Now, I sometimes talk about engaging your core abdominal muscles, and this is quite important. Now, to engage your core abdominal muscles, it's not that difficult. You just need to give a slight pelvic tilt. So just curl the bottom of your back under a little bit. and just give a slight pelvic tilt. If anyone's interested, I can explain the energetic reasons why we do that. But that is something that you need to practice, and at this stage, and as you're used to doing it, you're not going to be able to maintain that for the whole set. In an ideal world, that is exactly what you need to do. So let's assume that you've got yourself into the perfect stance, that you've got your pelvic muscles nicely engaged, you've got a slight pelvic tilt. And now, to prepare for the set, you just breathe. It's a way of calming ourselves down. But what I'd like you to experiment with today is trying to imagine that you are rooting yourself to the earth. And there are a number of ways to do this. First is that you could literally imagine that you've got roots growing out of your feet. But another way, and this kind of pulls you down quite gently, is so standing in your good bear stance, close your eyes, try to imagine that you're in a beautiful glass elevator. And I want you to just breathe. Every time you breathe out, I want you to imagine that the elevator moves down one floor. And the same thing with the next out breath. And just keep doing that as long as you're comfortable. And just see how far you can get that elevator to go down the lift shaft. And when you've done that, you should feel what's called rooted and grounded. Now, the ideal stance for all Tai Chi moves is to have yourself rooted and grounded, but it does take practice. If you get into the habit at the start of going through this preparation of just getting yourself in a good stance, making sure that you feel rooted and grounded with that visualization, and just breathe. Let your arms hang loose by your sides. Until you feel ready to start the move. And that is actually as important a part of what we do as the actual formal moves, in the same way that the standing Zen move at the end, when I talk about everything just settling, is just as important a part of these moves. So, hopefully you are now rooted and grounded. And even if you're sitting, I hope you found some visualization or found something useful to help you feel that you are definitely rooted and grounded. And if all you're doing is imagining that you're standing up and then imagining that your feet are rooted and floor, that's fine too. So whether you're standing or seated, get yourself into your good stance and your good posture. And then with your next in-breath, just want you to let your arms float up in front of you, with the palms down. And as you breathe out, just let your hands sink all the way down. Only move your hands as far as you can easily manage in one gentle, easy breath. And only move your hands as high as is comfortable. Don't make any move that causes you any pain or discomfort. If you do feel any pain or discomfort, then adjust what you're doing so that you don't feel it. Any pain or discomfort is a sign that the energy flow is being blocked, and that's not what you want. So breathe in, your hands float up. Breathe out, and your hands sink back down. Let your hands float up. Breathe out, they sink down. And then the last time for this move, with the bottom, just relax and let go. And the next move begins in a similar way. As you breathe in, your hands float up and turn your hands in, let them spread out as you breathe out. And as you breathe in, they naturally get pulled back in and back down. You have a nice big breath, and nice flexible muscles. You can probably get your arms quite a way out. But if all you can do is something similar to what I'm doing, that's fine. Breathe in, your hands float up and they spread out. And as you breathe out, your hands float back in and back down. Imagine that you breathe good energy in from the room. Or maybe you can imagine as you breathe out any stress or tension like grey smoke. And then the last time for this move, breathe out and let your hands sink down at the bottom, just relax and let go. Move on to pink rainbows. Just raise your hands as high as you can comfortably get them. As you breathe out, dip on one knee. Kind of let the opposite arm uncurl. As you breathe in, the hand and arm curl back up again. And then you do the same on the other side. As you breathe out, dip on one knee, let the opposite arm uncurl as you breathe in. And curls back up again, and then the last time do the same on the other side. As you breathe in, and your hands back up to the top. And turn your palms outwards as you breathe out. Just let your hands sweep all the way down by your side. Breathe in, arms float up. And as you breathe out, your hands sweep down by your side. And then last time for this move, breathe in, your arms float up. And as you breathe out, palms turn out. Your hands sweep down by your side all the way to the bottom. And we're going to go straight on to balance the chi. So as you breathe in, bring both hands up in front of you. As you breathe in, I want you to imagine you run your hands around the outside of the ball as you breathe out, I want you to imagine that you try and push that ball down. Maybe imagine it's floating in water and you try and push it under the water. Breathe in, smooth around the ball. Breathe out, and it sinks down. Breathe in, and your hands up and over the top. Breathe out and let your hands sink down. And then the last time for this move, breathe out and let your hands sink down. Then bring your hands across in front of your abdomen. And just for a moment, close your eyes. And just let everything settle. Just breathe. Maybe take a minute to get yourself into that good stance again with a bit of a pelvic flex. Stand and breathe. And just let everything settle. And then get yourself into a place where you wish to go to be comfortable for the meditation. While you're getting yourself settled, I will say that yes, I do know that I normally put another move in after parting the clouds and before balancing the chi. But energetically, this is one of the things I learned at the weekend, energetically, just doing the 4 moves ending with parting the clouds and then balancing the chi is actually slightly more logical. So I'd like to invite you to get yourself comfortable and settled, ready for the meditation. And as ever, I'd like to invite you to follow the sound of the singing bowl as it fades away. Find the silence at the end of the note. And just relax. Get yourself comfortable, whether you're sitting or lying. Relax your shoulders. Make sure your hands are nice and loose. Make sure that every bit of you is relaxed. Then I'd like you to become aware of where your body is supported by the bed or the chair. Notice the support that it gives you. Maybe try to imagine that you sink a little deeper into it. Maybe imagine that gravity pulls you just a little bit further. And as that happens, your shoulders relax even more. Then I'd like to invite you to bring your attention to your breathing. Just focus on the simple act of breathing in and breathing out. Most of the time, breathing is so automatic that we don't really notice it. but I want you to notice it now. I want you to notice what you notice about each breath. Maybe you're aware of the movement of air through your nose and throat. Maybe you're aware of the movement of muscles. Just let your attention rest on whatever it is that pulls at your attention as you breathe. There is nothing right or nothing wrong to sense. You get what you get. You get what is right for you. So you can't really fail at this. So get rid of any expectations of what you should or should not feel, or what should and should not happen. And just find within yourself the ability to accept things just as they are. Now you may find that your mind tries to wander off. That's perfectly natural. That's what minds do. They're meant to think. And when you notice that your mind has wandered off, or maybe you notice that you start to get impatient or bored, that's okay. Just accept that that's what has happened, and gently lead your mind back to focusing on your breath. Because the important thing is not that you keep your mind clear and keep yourself focused. The important thing is that you notice what your mind is doing. And however many times it wants to wander off on its own tangent, you notice it and gently lead it back to focusing on every in-breath and every out-breath. Because right here, right now, nothing matters except just this breath coming in, just this breath going out. Now there is so much movement associated with your breath. You can feel movement of your breath, movement of your muscles, maybe even movement of your body. Right now I'd like you to try and bring your attention to that moment in between each breath when there is no movement. Your in-breath becomes an out-breath, and your out-breath becomes an in-breath, and everything is still. And you might like to consider the fact that this moment of stillness happens hundreds of times every day. And maybe you can imagine that every time this moment of stillness happens, it puts a tiny drop of stillness into the place inside of you where you keep the good feelings that you can need to help you if life decides to cause you problems. We all have a place where we can be calm, quiet, still, peaceful, happy, confident. So many feelings that we can call on when we need them. I'd like you to find that place now. With your next in-breath, I'd like you to imagine that you breathe down into that special place. And as you breathe out, I'd like you to imagine that the out-breath carries with it the feeling that you need right here, right now. With every breath, I'd like you to imagine that feeling being spread around the whole of your body. Till after a few gentle, easy breaths, the whole of your body is filled with that good feeling. All the way from the top of your head, all the way down to the tips of your toes. Every part of your body is filled with that good feeling. And just for a moment, try and hold the whole of your body in your awareness. And be aware that it's filled with this good feeling. And just enjoy the feeling. Now I'd like you to bring your focus back to your breath. Just focus once again on every in-breath and every out-breath. And then let your awareness start to spread out. And maybe you can become aware of the touch of clothes on your skin. Become aware once again of where your body is supported by the bed or the chair. Then let your awareness spread even further. You start to become really aware of the room and the sounds both inside and outside the room. And then when you're ready, bring yourself back to normal awareness by opening your eyes. But as you do so, keep in the front of your mind the idea and the intention to take this good feeling with you through the rest of your day. And then take a moment to make sure that you really are back. I hope that you found that enjoyable and helpful. I know that I introduced some new concepts here. If you have any questions that you would like to ask me about those, please do feel free to PM me, either via the Crystal Wolf Qigong and Mindfulness page or my personal page, or email me. All the details for contact are actually on the page. If you have any particular requests for something that you would like me to include in a future meditation or to discuss during about Qigong, do please also contact me to let me know. These are your classes, and I know I can best help you if I am teaching you the things that you need to know. So I look forward to seeing you all next week. Thank you and goodbye.